Proper just rock climbing this bit.
Welcome to Two Idiots in a Van.
How is it?
Let's walk out.
It's going as what it is.
Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today I want to show you my footage from a hiking road trip that takes us from the captivating Peak District to the awe-inspiring landscapes of the Lake District. Unfortunately, this is the only footage from the Peak District because we weren't planning on making a video. And a shout out to the guy in the penny pot who bought us some vegan rolls when my carb was declined. You are a saviour. I'm from Manchester and I'm absolutely over the moon to have such a wonderful place on my doorstep. The Peak District is a must visit for hikers and campers alike.
Got a keg, mate. Doing illegal things here.
Honestly, I think I finished about half of the pints that I poured out of this thing, but it was still fun.
Head on that.
Just a little bit.
After a night spent at Lady Bower Reservoir, we headed off to Glenridding. We spent a night in a neighbouring village and then we set off to tackle Helvellyn. This wasn't our first trip to the Lake District. We came here in 2021, we tried to do Scafell. I planned a very optimistic route. We made it to about 600 odd metres up the side of the Great Gable and we didn't make much progress after that. This was largely down to three factors. The most important being absolute inexperience, the second being 20 kg backpacks, and the third being fairly poor physical fitness. We'll show you our second attempt of Scafell in part 2, but back to Helvellyn. So when you start the trail from Glenridding, you'll find a well-maintained path, but soon it will turn fairly steep. You might find that your calves are burning by the time you get to the beginning of Striding Edge, but it's definitely worth it. The views looking back down to Glenridding are breathtaking, and as you begin to ascend, other fells like High Street and Red Screes come into view. If you were fortunate enough to have clear skies like we did, that is. So Alan was doing this in Earth Runner sandals. These are barefoot sandals. I thought he was a bit crazy, but he'd just done Kinder Scout barefoot, so it made perfect sense. He found it absolutely perfect. He did Striding Edge in them. He said to me that his foot could wrap around the rocks, and I'll let him talk a bit about it now.
Okay, so I first discovered the barefoot movement around a year ago and quickly obsessed. I put this mainly down to the great book Born to Run by Christopher McDougall, in which he travelled to Mexico to find the Tarahumara, a tribe who are unbelievably good at long distance running, who run on the rough rocky desert mountainous terrain in just Huarache sandals, to find out how they do it and more, which I highly recommend reading. But essentially barefoot and barefoot shoes are flat, meaning no heel or toe rise, a wider toe box and thinner soles being more flexible, which allow for more movement and proper utilisation of your biomechanics and strengthen your foot and ankle to help you move in a more natural way.
I've tried to edit out as much of this wind noise as possible, but when we're talking it's quite difficult to, so this is the best that I could do. I'm sorry about that.
Helvellyn. Striding Edge. Don't fall over.
So I film most of this on my phone. I usually bring a lot of cameras and gear like that. I didn't this time. At the very least, I wish I brought a microphone because the wind noise was absolutely insane on some of these peaks. So we wanted to start a YouTube channel to document our adventures. This video, as I said in the beginning, wasn't planned, so it isn't the best that we could do, but I am happy with how it's come out. Looking forward, I intend to up the production quality and plan my shots more thoroughly. If you enjoy the video, then please subscribe and keep an eye out for upcoming videos.
Yeah, that really reminds me of Devil's Kitchen.
So for context, if you don't know what Devil's Kitchen is, it is a geographical feature found between Agam and Glenridding, centred around the beautiful lake that is Glenridding.
How you doing?
Grand.
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 How is it?
It's uphill.
It's good going is what it is.
So here we're approaching the start of Striding Edge. Going into it, I was a little bit skeptical because I'm not a big fan of heights, but the exposed sides weren't too bad. It wasn't like... I feel like if I fell down some of the rocks, then I wouldn't go tumbling all the way down the hill. In bad weather, you definitely could end up like that, but it wasn't too bad. It's a grade 1 scramble, but sometimes it's called a 0.5 because it's on the easier side of scrambles. I was having problems with my backpack coming up and coming down. My backpack's too big. It's the only one that I had. I didn't bring a day pack or anything, so I was using this for wild camping as well, so it needed to be fairly big. But problem was, when I was on the descent and I had to bend over and grab rocks like right now in the video, the top frame of the bag would be hitting me in the head, the wire, and same on the descents. If I'd lean back to keep balance, then the bottom of the bag would start pushing into my back, or I needed to climb down some rocks, like crouched, the bottom of the bag would clip onto the rocks and things like that. So I recommend a day pack rather than like a full-on hiking bag.
Fairly exposed, but it's not too bad.
I had great fun hopping along the rocks and finding interesting routes over the rocky terrain.
So right here we're coming up to the descent of the chimney. Now we couldn't work out what the chimney was. I didn't realise how big this section was at first until I started climbing down it, and I had a few issues, and you'll see that in a second.
Proper just rock climbing this bit.
Not nice now.
No, it's fun, but it is just rock climbing.
So I wouldn't recommend coming down facing the rocks. I'd recommend you facing away from the rocks. You'll be able to see where you're going a lot better, but if you've got a big backpack on, that won't be an option to you.
I went to the right more and then on my way down. Careful.
Careful, that's some filters, I like it.
Oh yeah, good. Might as well. It's alright, I've got 4 chances here.
Descendedness isn't half as hard as I'm making it look right now. I just couldn't find my footing.
Yeah, on your just down and left a little bit. You had one. Yeah, just a little bit further down and more to the left. Left, up. Yeah.
That's on.
And you can go straight down there. Nice. careful when you're walking backwards, isn't it? Good effort.
This bit was really fun. I enjoyed this a lot. This is the type of rocks that I like, where you can get a clear foothold, clear handholds. It's not too bad. People struggle with this, but this is my forte, definitely.
Good effort. Tries the harder right there. Yeah.
Just not gonna let me let down. Wow.
Feels a lot higher than normal. Yeah.
That's Vlad. He's a YouTuber from Ukraine. He does a lot of snowboarding, things like that. Have a look at his channel, maybe subscribe. That's his English language channel. I'll put his Ukrainian language channel up now. Both links will be in the description. So let's talk a bit about the gear we used on Helvellyn. I had my trail running shoes, and Alan, as we said previously, had his sandals. I prefer trail runners to traditional hiking boots as they give me more freedom to move, and I don't believe that all that ankle support is necessary. In fact, I believe it inhibits our ability to recover from slips and trips. They have the added benefit that if they get wet, then they dry off super fast. Yes, there is Gore-Tex and other waterproof technologies, but that just means that once water is in, it doesn't come out, and as soon as you do your first river crossing, you'll know exactly what I mean. So now we're on Swirl Edge, another popular scramble in the lakes, and it is often people's choice when it comes to descending Helvellyn. The scramble is easy enough and felt a lot shorter than Striding Edge.
Straight into the sun.
After we descended Swirl Edge, we turned off the path to Red Tarn, and as we walked over I noticed two girls following us. They assumed we were on their trail. I turned to them and said that this wasn't the path back to Glenridding and not to follow us. Alan asked me what I'd said to them, and he made a joke about me scaring off the ladies, though I think it would have been him doing that if they'd stayed for around 5 more minutes and saw him bollock naked in Red Tarn. So after a night spent near Glenridding, we went to Cathedral Cave. Now, Cathedral Caves got a lot of history. I'm going to take this from a blog called Third Eye Traveller by Sophie Pearce. So, Cathedral Cave lies in the quaint Langdale Valley, a name that comes from the Old Norse term for Long Valley, and lies in the heart of the Lake District. Cathedral quarries are a number of interlinked caves and are best known for their main chamber, which has the nickname the Cathedral. It is 40 feet high, seemingly balanced on a tall rock pillar, and is lit by 2 windows. The landscape around Langdale Valley was shaped by industry and quarrying since the 16th century, but it reached its peak in the 19th century when there was a demand for housing. Holes were drilled into the rock face and blasted to allow for the extraction of slate, hence why there is such a huge chamber here. The quarries would then export the slate to Coniston by horse and cart, and it would be shipped further away by railway. There was a famous smuggler called Alanti Slee who used to distill moonshine whiskey in these parts. It's believed he used many of the caves and quarries around the area to hide it. Beatrix Potter bought the quarry in 1929 and gifted it to the National Trust. Quarrying continued under lease here until the 1950s. Today, Little Langdale quarries are a popular tourist attraction and climbing spot in Cumbria.
Take it out, mate. Is that a dim?
Oh look, some more ancient hieroglyphs. Wow, I never knew that had spray paint.
I didn't realise it was going to be like caves. There goes another pair of socks. Amazing grace. I really want an head torch right now, I'm not gonna lie. Whoa, we could get lost in it if we get
What
more
you
and
do
more.
is always go
Always go left, yeah.
I don't know why the kids need fucking can't read.
We get to be fall over me. Oh. Very humid. I can't go any further, mate. End of the road for you.
Oh my god, Joe, you can't do that. What did it does say?
It is kind of a spot to camp, isn't it? If you got freestanding tent. Fucking drag outs, man. Fucking drag outs. So what is the spray paint for?
Probably to monitor cracks and splits.
Yeah, I get you. Is that it? Get your pickaxe. Could be some iron in there.
There's some tin.
Oh yeah, tin. Tin mining. Oh, maybe this one. Oh, I'm gonna get so wet. Yeah. Let's go. Barefoot. Roll you fucking joggers up. Oh, nah, mate. Hey. That is horrible. Pretty deep, that, isn't it? Bit of spelunking.
Not quite sure where you're going now.
Because hoping to avoid getting my leggings wet. Nada.
So we went in another cave here, and it wasn't very interesting. It was a dead end. Wasn't worth getting wet again, to be honest.
It's another wet one. Lovely.
World Cross Rally. And the yellow T4 is flying through lane 2864. Oh my god, left coming up.
Oh, sweet.
In part 2, Alan wakes up. I brush my teeth. We will see a parrot in Greg's.
We may or may not have fucking capsized 5 metres off the shore.
This happened.
Aliki,
And I tried to pronounce this.
Fukushima.
Stay tuned.
Fukushima.